And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that brutal OST. We have returned with our next matchup of the night. We just wrapped up with threepoint versus Full Heart, and now we have arrived with an off race here. I was not expecting this because spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the American Protoss player off racing Astrea. Not the first time he's done this. We have casted Astrea off race many times before. Whenever he feels confident, we'll see if he's punished for his confidence. Representing Match Arena Esports, it is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. Representing Team Hyper 1, it is threepoint. Here we go. So the last time we saw Astrea play Terran, fun fact, was a couple of months ago when we casted Astrea. I think it was in the qualifiers was it the qualifiers of IEM, or was it an ESL? I think it was ESL Open Cup Asia. Astrea versus SOS. When Astrea played against SOS, he played Terran as well. And fun fact, SOS beat Astrea's Terran in game 1, and then Astrea switched to Protoss. He switched to Protoss, and then Astrea won game 2 and game 3. So this is usually something that Astrea does when he's confident. When he feels confident, when he feels like he has a big advantage, he will off-race, and we'll see if he can afford to do this against threepoint. You know, is the skill gap large enough where we can whip out the Terran? It's going to be 2-Rack Reaper. 2-Rack Reaper here out of Astrea. Threepoint going for a hatch gas pool. Here we go. Standard opener here from threepoint in the TvZ. Can he keep up with the micro with the control of Astrea? That is the question. That is going to be the question here, as Reaper is going to be moving out. Out across the map. Likewise, we have additional Reapers on the way as well. Again, should be just 2 racks into 3 Reapers. The goal here of these Reapers are to just contain the Zerg player, to keep them on 2 bases for as long as possible. Threepoint does confirm, does get eyes on all these racks, is aware of what's going on, and it will be contained. Drone is hidden here towards the linear 3rd base. And the Reapers, they do dip into the middle line, but no, we are zoned away. Queen arrives just in time. And so far, threepoint will hold nicely. But again, it's still stuck on 2 bases a little bit longer. Link speed is on the way. Behind this, Astrea is expanding, working towards a factory in the main base. Reapers try to dip in, but won't quite be able to. 1 Reaper goes down. Ooh, big pickoff. 1 Reaper does fall. Astrea rotates around, gets eyes on the hatchery, but it's a little too late to really do anything about it. Look at a couple of Lings. Not bad. 2 Lings get picked off, and Astrea will be pulling back here from here. Going to be preparing for his transition, working towards Stim. Looking to work towards Stim, as we do prioritize a 3rd CC. It's going to be a 3rd CC before Starport. Very economic opener here out of Astrea. Very economic follow-up. It's going to be 3 CC 2-on-1 Titan. 3cc 2-on-1. That is Stim now in production. Astrea going to be backing off. Now that link speed is done, Astrea has to be very careful with these Reapers, and it should be pulling back. From here again, Astrea is going to be building up, is going to be setting up for a bit of a Reaper, bit of a mind drop even, not quite expecting this, a little bit out of left field. Typically a Terran player would get into Hellions from this point, maybe even Cyclones, then Hellions, but no, Astrea spicing it up with a mind drop instead, a little bit out of left field, a little bit unorthodox, ideally hoping to catch the Zerg player off guard. We'll see if he can. Threepoint now getting into his 3rd base saturation, double Evo chamber on the way for 1-1. Double Evo chambers are in production, so a bit of a greedier follow-up out of threepoint. Basically, he's delaying his lair timing and delaying his bailings in favor of faster upgrades. And we'll see if he can get away with it as the drop play is coming out. Reapers are soon to be dealt with. Well, likewise, the medevac drop does run into the Queens. Rough pathing there out of Astrea. Does take some extra hits. And we are in position. Again, the drop is seen well ahead of time. These Twin Wines, yeah, they will not get any damage done. So far, good defense. Good defense out of 3-point. Likewise, Reaper does get up into the worst. Does try to escape, but does get shut down. And 3-point has control of his side of the map. Job tries to go back in, but again, the Queen is in position. Astrea, they're going to be reinforcing here with Stim. With these Stim Marines. Doesn't want to waste it. Wants to hold on to it. Catching an Overlord. Not bad. Bailey Nest now on the way alongside the lair. Widow Mine drop does slip in. The mine shots. Decent connections. 4 drones go down and a good chunk of Lings as well. The medevac should eventually be shut down, but regardless, a good trade nonetheless. Astrea catching another Overlord. Ooh, a bit overstimmed. Does catch a good chunk of units nonetheless, as Astrea does pull back. Does end up pulling back. Still building up his third TC. Tanks getting up and running as well. Working towards 1-1. Working towards that 5 rack setup here. So yep, everything looking pretty standard on 3 bases. Sure, we had the mine drop to spice things up, but outside of that, Astrea just building himself up with Biotank. And 3-point likewise also playing standard. You know, he's cheesy, but typically against other Zerg players or other Protoss players. Here against Terran, standard play. Just looking standard. Ling run by runs into Marines. Oh, we do lose a lot of Lings in the process. Astrea trading very nicely. And the armory on the way for 2-2, for eventual 2-2. Oh, nice target firing here on the Banelings. Astrea having some fun. Target firing those Banelings. Building up his forces, reinforcing here with a handful of tanks. 3 tanks on the way. Astrea, he is going to be reinforcing. He's going to be committing here to this push. Oh, this is a little bit scary. A lot of the tech is exposed. This third base is not just about the base, it's about the Evo chambers, the Bailey Nest. It is all here. 3-point rushing into a hive. But can he make it? Can he get there? As the tanks are pushing forward, 3-point going for a big counterattack instead, trying to force the army back home. SCVs will go down. Astrea out of position. Bailey's they connect, and 13 SCVs go down. Astrea losing so much back at home. We have to commit. We have to push him, but we have Bailings waiting. Bailing speed is done. Yeah, the Marines, they still on forward. They shut down the Bailing Nest. We still have 10 more Bailings on the way. 2-2 are about to finish up as well for 3-point. And we're collapsing on this position. We're fighting off of creep, but the Bailing connections, they are good enough. They bring down the tank, but not the other. Can we deny the upgrades? They're so close. Looks like we cannot. Not yet. Reinforcements going to be on the way. Astrea, he has a supply lead though. He may not be able to deny 2-2. But he has a massive army nonetheless. He can keep pushing. We have lost a lot of workers, but Astrea, fun fact, he's still ahead in economy. He has 65 workers plus mules. And plus 2 carapace. Oh, it may not finish. First Evo chamber goes down. 3-point is forced to evacuate. Second Evo chamber goes down as well. Ultra Cavern on the way. Quite greedy here from 3-point. As his base is going to fall. 3-point going for a massive link counterattack. Once again, does catch some SCVs. Workers are falling. 15 workers go down. Pretty good damage. But 3-point has been bleeding out a lot of Ling Bane. Just far too much Ling Bane has been bled out. And Astrea, he can just rotate around and keep pushing. Other tanks. Tanks are exposed. Banelings will connect and all 3 tanks go down. Oh, never mind. Oh my god, it's on 1 HP. The 1 HP tank lives. Does barely live. And Astrea, he's not slowing down. Moving in towards the would-be third. 3-point at least is on 4 base saturation. But again, he can barely hold on. The supply just is not there. Decent connections with the Banelings. Another tank falls, another 2 tanks fall. But what about the Marines? We still on 4. GG gets called, and Astrea will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of Astrea. 3-point, he had some really rough trades, some really rough engagements where he would just bleed out far too many Lings, far too many Banelings. And with that, Astrea was able to just snowball out of control there. It also was unfortunate that a lot of the tech was exposed, right? The Baneling Nest, the Evo Chambers were exposed. So we are getting ready for this. Just trying to fix any kind of issues on the bracket. It looks like it was misreported that Full Heart had won the series, but we all know it was 3-point. I mean, we casted it. We know. Did cast it. So we're getting into game number 2. Getting into that second game. And again, the winner of this series faces off against Firefly in the next round. I kind of glossed over it earlier, but Firefly did 2-0 Parting. Again, to be expected. Firefly has been on fire recently, and Parting is still finding his footing. But really cool to see Parting compete. Really cool to see Parting participate in this event. Do appreciate that he is being quite active in these online weeklies like KSL and ESL Open Cup. I do appreciate it. Wish him the best. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the American Terran representing Match Arena Esports. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the purple Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. Again, Astrea usually Protoss, but he's off racing as Terran here in this series. Again, it's something that he often does. I mentioned before, but we've casted Astrea play Terran against SOS. We've seen him play Terran against Future as well. That was, to be fair though, both Future and Astrea had agreed to both off race. Future was playing Protoss, Astrea was playing Terran. But yeah, he does whip it out whenever he can. I think it was a year ago at this point when Astrea, he off raced Terran against Pig. Did play Terran against Pig when they played in this tournament in ESL Americas. So whenever he has the opportunity to, he will play Terran. He knows, but he wants to win. As 3-point is opting to go for a much more aggressive opener. It's going to be gas first. Gas into pool, into hatchery. With this faster gas geyser, we can go into a roach rush, or we can go for really fast link speed into a bane bust. We have options with this fast gas. And the question becomes, Astrea, do we scout? And the answer for now is no. No SCV scout out of Astrea. Greedy. Very greedy, especially against 3-point. 3-point has a reputation. So for Astrea to skip the SCV scout, it's a little bit bold. Reaper though is on the way. Again, it's going to be a racked expand, standard opener out of Astrea. And the Reaper is moving out. The Overlord of 3-point will confirm. We'll get eyes on the expansion. Meanwhile, Lings are already moving out. Remember, it was gas pool. Link speed is on the way. There's the Baneling Nest. We're going for a Bane Bust. One way or another, the game will end. Either we succeed and we kill Astrea, or we die trying. Let's go. Reaper does confirm how late the hatchery is. We're racing back home. Link soon to arrive. Now, what's scary here is that Astrea, he's pulling back because he believes it's a pull first. It is a pull first, but he doesn't see the gas. He doesn't scout the Baneling Nest. He may believe that it's only going to be Lings. Doesn't know it's Banelings. Doesn't realize how committed 3-point is. The boys were pulled. We will defend. We will force this back. We have so many more links here on the horizon. And Astrea is going 3cc! No shot. Third CC here in the main base. He's woefully underprepared. He is misreading the situation. He doesn't know. Astrea, he has no idea here. And with this link flood, we may be looking to force the ace match. And I wonder, if we do force the ace match, does Astrea switch to his main race? Does he get the hell off of Terran? Or do we commit? Because this CC, it will not finish. Banelings have been spotted. Hellions are on the way, but again, we have one Reaper to defend. That's all we have. One Reaper. Marines are coming out. As we bust in, we break through the front door. We bust down the wall. There is one Hellion here in the back line. Boys are being pulled. Banelings are waddling in. Up. Three connections. Connections here on the SCVs. Marines are trying to hold on, but we have Banelings from behind. And again, we will connect with everything there is left here. Big supply block. We cannot make anything, only workers. There we go, Marines on the way. Cyclone as well. Banelings, they crash into the main base. GG gets called, and 3-point ties up the series 1-1. GG. We are forcing that ace match. We are forcing game 3. And do we switch to our main race? Does like, that's what happened previously. The last time Astrea lost to SOS with his Terran, he did switch. He did switch over to Protoss. Do we switch again? Do we switch again? Or do we commit to Terran? I mean, I kind of want Astrea to commit, you know? Like, we kind of chose our path that we're going to be walking here tonight. Walk it, papi. Send it. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. As we are setting things up here. And oh, lobby's been made. What race? What race do we have? That's the question. That is the question. Is it still Terran? Oh. Oh. I think it is. I think he's still playing Terran, Papi. He's crazy. Okay, let's go. Let us go. Astrea, he's asking, did YouTube man take a game off of Beyond with Zerg? Did that happen? No shot. Crazy. Crazy, Papi, crazy. Apparently, two base queen drop. A queen ling all in against Beyond. Yo, you thermal. Let's go. Making some content. Really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. You thermal popping off with the Zerg. Everyone's off racing. Everyone's off racing. But we just got an update, so it looks like Beyond, he is in the quarterfinals, waiting for either Wayne or Riser in the next round. And yeah, I guess the tournament is slowly progressing. We're all at least in the round of 16. At least in the round of 16. Soon to be the quarterfinals. I see Astrea played against Zerg against an NA Terran a week or two ago in the ESL Weekly. Oh, there you go. Thank you for letting us know. It did happen. Thank you for letting us know. As you can hear the beeps, and we're loading into the ace match, and Astrea, he's committed. He is still playing Terran, not Protoss. Let's go. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that he has committed here to his race of choice. It's all or nothing. It all comes down to this. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the American Terran player representing Match Arena Esports being forced into the ace match. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the purple Zerg player representing Team Hyper 1. It is threepoint. I like to believe Astrea's like, don't cheese me. I like to believe that's what he's saying. We'll see. We'll see how this does unfold. As Astrea going for a Rax Expand, this time not a double Rax opener, no 2 Rax Reaper or anything like that. Standard opener out of Astrea. Likewise, threepoint also going for a hatch first. Man of his word is opening up standard. No aggression yet. Not yet. Again, we are on Hecate, a bit of a more defendable map. Much more defendable map. Can be quite difficult to be aggressive and to go for things like 2 base all-ins. But it hasn't stopped players from trying. Hasn't stopped them from trying before. As there is that CC going to be on location. It's going to be set up. And we will be easing into this. My eyes are still on threepoint here. We did see a standard game in game 1. That's true, but I do feel like, again, he thrives in aggression and maybe even roach play. I don't think roach play is amazing on Hecate, again, just because of these ramps, just because of all these choke points. It can be so difficult to actually make that work. It does require a bit of a larger map, or wide open map even. As a third is on the way here for threepoint. Everything looking normal. Everything looking pretty standard. Reaper has arrived, going to be dancing with those lings. We'll be dipping in. Oh, getting a couple of hits in. A couple of shots here and there. And behind this third CC before Starport, very economic follow-up here from Astrea. This time he will get away with it. This time he will not die to a Link Flood. This time will not get bait busted. Not yet. As Astrea trying to be a little bit greedy, trying to focus down that tumor. Won't quite be able to. And again, I want to believe that threepoint, he has a good chance here to fight back. Had a rough time on side Delta earlier, but again, there was a lot going against him in that game, especially with the 2 Rax Reaper. This time, threepoint is a lot more comfortable. Far more comfortable. As Astrea behind this, getting into his second Rax. Okay, we're going 3cc 2-1-1. Interesting. Second Rax is on the way. Big delay here on the starport. So the way that this works is that we have a handful of Hellions. I believe we cut Hellions at 2. Sorry, 2 what? We cut Hellions at 4. From here, we build up a Marine count, work towards Stim. It does mean that the double drop of Marines is delayed. It's going to be later. And the Hellions, there aren't going to be that many of them either. But we can hit with Stim at a later time. We can still, of course, be active with those Marines with that drop play at around the 5:30 mark. There it is, starport in production, going for a big add-on swap. And we did cut Hellions at 4. So this means typically that threepoint does have extra time to drone. He can drone up very freely here because there aren't really that many Hellions to assert pressure. 2 tumors go down. again, 3-point building himself up. Forcing back the Hellions. Behind this, getting into double Evo chamber. I do appreciate this. Double Evo chamber for 1-1. Delayed bailiness, delayed bailing speed. This is a corner you can't cut. And 3-point, you should recognize how few Hellions there are. You should recognize that the Marines are soon going to be active. As those two medevacs are in production. Now we have our Bailing Nest on the way. We should soon be seeing the lair as well, once we have the gas for it. And they still rotate around. You get sorted away by those queens. Here we go. Astrea can finally be active. Again, this aggression was delayed because of his build, because of how economic he was being, but now we can be active. Now we can have more of a back and forth. We're going to have a Hellions towards the center of the map. We have the double drop here on the right hand side. We could catch an Overlord. Good pick up. Overlord goes down. And we could even force a cancel on the fourth. Cancelled. Fourth is cancelled. Here we can pick up load into the main base as well. Some shaky control though when it comes to lifting up all those Marines. We do pull back, taking a little bit too long. And 3-point, he's in position. Yes, Link Bane where he needs it to be. The fourth base was delayed. Can we delay it for a second time? Uh-oh. Can we get on that base once again? Go for the stim. Army's in position. Force a lift. We do force a lift. Behind this, though, Astrea is getting his third base fully operational. Fourth base still not up and running here for 3-point. It may be worth double expanding just because it's so delayed. Hydra Den on the way. 3-point going into Link Bane Hydra. Into Link Bane Hydra here as he collapses on the army. The tank has arrived, but we can get on top of it. The Lings, we get on top of the tank. Bane's a one-lin as well. Good connections. At the same time, Astrea pushing on the left-hand side, getting into a mineral line, but we are in position. We are ready for it. Diving on that hatchery, catching an Overlord. Good target firing once again, though. Very nice control out of Astrea. Gets a couple of Banelings. Ooh. Will be taking some Banelings to the face, so this tank goes down. Astrea losing a lot of momentum. Bleeding out a lot of units. He still has these Hellions. There's a fourth base behind this, getting into 8 Raxes. But again, the tank count just keeps getting reset. I'm getting that much more concerned here for Astrea. Does stim on 4, does get a queen. Queen, 3-point. Now with Hydras, he can shut down the medevacs. He has anti-air. Good target. Oh, the stutter stepping. Oh my god. Bad. Stutter steps well, but he takes Babies to the face. Oh, this time the control was lacking. We get on top of the tanks. We get on top of the reinforcements, and Astrea, he is in trouble right now. He was poised to take this series, poised to go for a deep run, but here, as he's off racing, he's struggling a little bit. He's not out of this yet, though. Now, what Astrea does have is an economy. Fourth base is just now being landed, and look at the worker count. 88 workers, plus mules. Astrea has a solid economy here. He's building up on 4 bases, turtling up with turrets, sensor towers, siege lines. Astrea, he's lost momentum, so he's stuck at home, but he's looking quite strong back at home. 5th CC on the way. Meanwhile, likewise, the 3-point is also stabilizing. Finally, he has room to breathe. He has room to breathe here. Astrea backed off, which means we can join up. We have our hive on the way. soon to be Adrenal, soon to be 3-3. We can even get into Lurkers. Oh, as we catch some of these Marines. Astrea overextending. But again, 3-point, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants from here. Just taking more bases, droning up to 80, catching up in workers. He's able to keep up with all the drop play. With the aggression. So maybe it's well in. Up! Planetary! Not good enough. 9 SCVs go down. 2 Banelings is all it takes. And a good run by there from 3-point. 3-3 on the way for both players. The Vipers are in production. I believe no Ultra Cavern yet, or no Lurker Den. Yeah, there's no other hype tech other than Adrenal and Vipers. So we're sticking with Lingbane Lingbane Hydra. This is a good composition when it comes to trading on the map. It can definitely fight, you know, Ghost, Bio, Tank, even Lib. But when it comes to pushing into these entrenched positions, when it comes to pushing into the 3rd or the 4th, this army is going to be lacking. This is where we do need Vipers. Vipers are very crucial. Not just that, but taking up into either Broodlords or Lurkers also going to be necessary as well. Or Ultras. If this game slows down. Meanwhile, Hatchery going to be falling. Good pickup. At the same time, we get some of these Marauders. It's an okay trade. This trade does come out on top. Likewise, here were the Banelings. Nowhere to be found. The Banelings. We see Astrea taking another base. Is going to take control of it. Moiling Bane is amassing. It's going to be mule hammering here as well. Now the Vipers have arrived. With the arrival of these Vipers, we can Blinding Cloud. This one tank, these 2 tanks, suddenly not as imposing. How good are the snipes? Oh, good EMP. Very nice EMP, but the Banelings do connect. Both players having their moments. Viper's going to be sucking on some buildings. At the same time, while we're in position here on the right-hand side, we have some Lingbane, but not that much. The army is revealed. Now we have an Ultra Den on the way. Out of all 3 options, out of Lurkers, Broodlords, and Ultras, I'm not too fond of this. Ultras have the same issue that Lingbane does when it comes to pushing these planetaries. But here we go, we're going in. Big Blinding Cloud, and the Banelings, they crash into the planetary. Planetary will fall, big connections. At the same time, though, Astrea pushing on in, getting another base. Ooh, does take some Banelings to the face, but he will deny this hatchery. At the same time, 3-point being forced back. Hatchery will go down. Trading a base for a base. Astrea, though, he loses 15 SCVs. Astrea loses an army and workers and a full medevac. The Queen. The Queen, the MVP. Shuts down a full medevac. 3-point still coming up better. He's still on 90 workers. Has a bank. Taking gases. Astrea trying to get another base up and running. Going for bottom right. Doing what he can. Meanwhile, the Ultras, they have arrived. And they're going for a waddle by the planetary. Oh, I'm not fond of this, as yeah, we got sniped. Bit of an expensive loss there for 3-point. Instead, we collapse on the planet, on the southern planetary. We will get it. We got some okay mine shots. Some better mine shots here towards the end. Protection is required. But we are knocking down bases, and Astrea, he is hurting so bad right now. Astrea in some trouble. Don't like this. I mean, I do like the ghost transition, but where are the libs? Where are the liberators? As we unsiege! Now is not the time. Tanks still on siege, which means we can chase this down. The mines. Big Bailey connections. We cut off the Marines. Where the mines going to be going off here on the link main, but we get on top of the planetary and it will go down. Repairs not in time. And the Ultras were snowballing out of control. It looks like 3-point has done it. These snipes going to be going off. We're going to be able to hold on. But 29 SCVs go down and most of the army as well. So we're actually to another base. Barely towards the end. The Ursadak, it's helping. Look, it's like another Ultra. It's one of us. Just underneath the CC, delaying it from being thrown down. And Astrea is down to sub 100 supply. You can see him desperately expanding here on the right and soon to be towards the left. Needs another base. But even one extra base is not going to be enough. Not anymore. Astrea down to 43 SCVs. He has a decent ghost count. He's on 10 ghosts. There's potential. So push into a mineral line. 3-point out of position. This base will go down. Big snipes go off, but instead we collapse on the third. There's nothing here. No ghosts, no marines. Big connections here on the SCVs. And we are camping the production. Astrea has to make a choice. He's trying to race back home. With the Lings, they flood into the main. There's a drop into the main base. Getting on top of these fringe bases as well. Ay. And we will clean this up, but again, there's just barely anything left here for Astrea. Barely anything remaining. 3-point is here. Hey, you want to off-race against me? You're crazy. Astrea being punished a little bit for enjoying himself. And I mean, hey, it was a great series. It was enjoyable. It was a lot of fun. But alas, 3-point showing that you cannot off-race. You got to bring your best, your A game against 3-point. GG is going to get called. Well played. And 3-point will advance on to the next round, eliminating Astrea. GG. GG, well played. 3-point does it. He takes Astrea down. Impressive result here. Again, Astrea trying to be cheeky, trying to off-race, trying to get away with off-racing, but can't do that against 3-point. Again, you got to put some respect on the name. 3-point is a Korean Zerg player and does manage to take the series in the end. Astrea going to be knocked out of ESL Open Cup Americas. GG. GG, well played. A pretty big upset, to be honest. Big upset here, as 3-point is more of an up-and-coming Zerg player. Zerg cheese 2 strongs.